They can shoot you, they can torture you, they're brutal people. Like, rape ain't enough, they will do more and more and more. There's another girl that will get sold to the Freshies, the ones that got brought over from Pakistan. She was in the next room and there'll be a queue, literally a long queue outside. They got printed like little passport photos, like things. And then he took them back to Pakistan and showed them that he had a young white girlfriend in England. I didn't have one social worker stand up in court and say that I was being sexually exploited. I got my care files 4 years ago and that's all it says in there. So they knew, and not once stood up in court and wanted to help me. There's hundreds and thousands of girls that feel like this every day. I'm 32, it happened when I was 14. And yeah, the police still don't want to do nothing. I had girls in my cell reading my paperwork. I was classed as a nonce in there. I had my 18th birthday in there. I missed my auntie's funeral. All for being raped my whole teenage life.
Do you think that they targeted you because of your race?
How it started, I was 14. I was living with my dad, who was an addict, and he took me on a drug deal with him, and that's where I met my first perpetrator. It started off by him obviously driving past me, him being my dad's friend, giving me lifts home and things like that. And then it would be seeing me on my way to school, taking me to school, picking me up from school, buying me fags. And then it got like more fun, like inviting us out to parties and buying us alcohol, cigarettes and everything. And then that's when they'll start introducing you to their family. And then where they like friend you and have this big trust, like you build this massive trust with them. I wouldn't say I classed him as my boyfriend, but it was more like a really good friend of mine. But then sexual activity started.
So how old were you? How old is he?
I was 14. I don't know. He had a wife and 3 kids. I actually don't know his age. So at that time, I was 14. He had a wife and 3 kids. So. Yeah, I couldn't say an age. He ran a taxi base, his whole family, they had their own taxi base. Yeah, and where you'll build this trust and then they'll be like, oh, we bought you alcohol, and they'll then make you sleep with whoever's with them. So it could be their brother, their nephew, whoever. And if you say no, you'll either get beaten up or it's more of a bribe thing as well, where it's like, well, I bought you the alcohol. I pick you up every day and give you lifts. I do this, I do that. So then you start feeling like you owe them something and that's what you need to do. It just gets brutal more and more. The more time you're in it. I shouted out, when I was 14, I was in a house and got sexually assaulted by a 51-year-old. I didn't know he was 51. I went straight to the police, gave him DNA, done everything I needed to, and they rang me and told me his name and his age, and then said that it's NFA. There weren't enough evidence to bring anything forward.
Just going back a little bit, do you remember the point where it sort of switched between, like, oh, this is just someone that is being nice to me, to they want something, or did it just happen gradually over time?
It just happens gradually over time.
Yeah.
They know the ways to wean you around, and obviously when you're like with me, I've just thrived from my dad. Like obviously he was an addict. I just always wanted that attention, and never got it. So when I was getting attention from his friend, I just jumped to it really.
And when you look back on it now, how do you see it?
Oh, big Jade wants to shake little Jade. Because I normalised to it so much when I was younger, that now I regret every single moment of it really. Not that it was my fault, but obviously when you have everyone around you that has blamed you, you do hold some sort of blame.
Yeah. Because you were just a vulnerable little girl.
Yeah. Yeah, well, when you're at that age, you think you're a big woman, you think you know everything, but as an adult looking in, you're just a baby.
Was there anyone that saw what was happening and reacted in a way that, looking back now, you think was the right way?
No, there's no one. Social services were more than aware of it, and they sat me at McDonald's and asked me if I was prostitute myself.
How old were you?
I was 15 when they asked me that.
And how did you feel when they asked you that?
I felt sick, but then at the same time I started believing it, because in a way I was receiving gifts for sex. So it was like, well, if my social worker saying that's what's happening, then that's what must be happening.
Had you thought about it in that way before they said it to you?
No, never.
Right.
So then when they've put that in, I'm there like, oh. Like, as I said, I felt sick when they said that. What do you mean, selling myself for drugs and alcohol? And then you start questioning it, because then when you go to the police and give them DNA and things like that, and they just drop it out, or they say, well, you keep going missing, you're a troubled kid and all of this. What
they say to you, you're a troubled kid?
Yeah, all the time. You've got these adults, not just adults, professionals, telling you, you're a troubled kid, you keep going missing, you keep going back. Are you, and then questioning me, are you selling yourself for drugs and alcohol? You do start questioning it as a young kid, because that's what the professionals are telling you.
And with the group that was involved, how organised were you?
There was 3 different groups I was involved with.
Okay, and
they all worked differently, really.
How?
There was one group I didn't really get, I wouldn't say really got abused as much, where the other girls were in, there was another girl that would get sold to the Freshies, the ones that got brought over from Pakistan. She was in the next room, always getting, and there'll be a queue, literally a long queue outside with all people.
What was a Freshie and what was this group? Tell me a bit more.
A Freshie we class as the ones that come fresh from Pakistan over here. Ones that don't really speak English, and there was like a house behind a shop or above a shop. There'll be queues outside, and girls being sold to them.
And so they come over, and how do they know straight away that there is and this is an underage girl that
well, my main perpetrator, he used to bring his uncle over, and he took me to Snappy Snaps in High Wycombe to have a little little innocent photo shoot, so he could go back to Pakistan and show him all that they have white young girlfriends over here.
What?
Yeah.
In Snappy Snaps?
Yeah.
What were they saying in the shop when you walked in
Nothing.
these guys?
Nothing. They just took the pictures.
And then they sent that back. And wait.
So it was like they got them printed like little passport photos, like things, and then he took them back to Pakistan and showed them that he had a young white girlfriend in England.
Wow.
Which then tempts all of them to come over.
So, and then these guys that were coming, the Freshies, were they illegally live it? What was their deal?
Well, I don't know, coming over and visiting family.
Right. And then
going back home.
But part of when they'd come over, they would then just go to this place where there was an underage girl that they would...
Yeah, these houses, do whatever they got to do and then go back home and spread the rumour in Pakistan, and then everyone's come in. So
this was just then, it was spreading, and there was a queue, a
literal 20 people queue outside a room. One will walk out, one will walk in, one will walk out, one will walk in.
And was it was there other people seeing it, or see what are these people?
Probably, yeah, but they're hidden, because it's a house behind a shop, so you've got to go down the road, around, out the back.
And that was so you just saw that group from the sort of outside rather than them necessarily exploiting you, or how did it work?
Yeah, with that group, that's how that was. It was horrible to be because I was classed as, in his eyes, I was a good girl. I shouldn't be part of that.
Right.
And then there was...
Wait, so who were the girls that they were targeting, and how many of them were there?
There was mainly just this one girl. I always knew this, something ain't right. like when things, like when I've been in situations with myself and I've walked out going, like that was wrong, but I was too embarrassed to tell anyone.
Yeah. And did you report that thing with the Freshies and this one girl?
No.
I guess because you felt already like they're not gonna
believe me. Because it weren't just me. Untold of us went to the police. Untold of us had social workers that we went to. Untold of us had support workers that we went to. And nothing ever got done. We were still stuck in it. So, and you just start normalising to it. You just saves getting beaten up. You just carry on with it. And
then the perpetrator, he sort of justified it, or like, how did he explain that setup to you when he said you were a good girl or whatever? You're so scared of him, you just sit there and just end up just allowing it. Even when you know it rips your insides out, you just sit there and let it rip your insides out, because it's better than what could be coming your way. Which could be?
Anything. They could shoot you, they can torture you, they're horrible, they're brutal people. Like, rape ain't enough, they will do more and more and more.
And so that was one of the groups. What were the other two groups that you saw?
There was another group who would take you to drive you like far away from where you are, and then take you to a house, and he will, like, to get you to go home, you'd either be left in the middle of nowhere not knowing where you are, or you have to sleep with 6 people that are in the house just to get home.
Wow. And do you remember the first time that happened?
Oh yeah, I remember all of them. Well, majority of them.
But so it was just like, and where were they taking you to? How far away?
You're that drunk, like you're so drunk and driving in the dark that you just don't even know half the time. One time I walked out the house and I was that drunk, I tried to run away from them. I ended up fell down and rolled down a ditch, but it was a long fall, and I had like thorns in me. I was picking out thorns out of me for months. And like when I look back, I could have been dead at the bottom of that ditch.
Yeah. Like
just trying to get away. And
so was it different cities that they were taking to, or you don't know?
I really couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I've had my foster carer drive. I've had to walk down roads and find a road name and say, "I'm here. Can you come and pick me up, please?" Yeah.
Wait. So and then your foster care. What happened when?
My foster carer would just come pick me up and take me home, and just tell the social worker that I was reported missing. I'm back now. I found her drunk, wherever they found me.
Okay, because this is one of the patterns that always happens, right? Which is this reported missing. You were being abducted, kidnapped, but they were saying that you were missing.
Yeah.
And how frequent was that?
I've got just 1 month's missing reports, and it was like every other day.
Every other day?
Every other day, every 3 days, yeah. Yeah, I got put in the Bucks Free Press for being reported missing. I was missing for 8 days, I think it was.
Right, okay, so what they said is in, can you help to find you?
Yeah, me and this other girl from my care home.
Wow, and where were you when that went out?
At their houses.
So who put that out? It was like the police or whatever?
Yeah.
But if they'd have just paid attention, they would have known.
Yeah, they find you in the houses. The police know where to find you. They'll come and find you from a house and take you away from the house.
And what do they say when they take you away?
Nothing. They just take you back to your care home. They literally do nothing.
And with the office, one of the things that always baffles me is like, how did none of those police officers be like, what's going on here? Like, was there never any point that any of them just...
No. There's literally been nothing. Nothing. I reported one in 2011, and him and his wife bullied me to drop it. So eventually I dropped it. They drove me to the police station, and I had 2 Asian men walk me into the police station. I got arrested for wasting police time. When I got released, when they let me out of the police cell, the 2 Asian men are still sat in the waiting room waiting for me to come out to make sure that I dropped it.
So, wait, just so you reported what was a sexual assault against a guy, and then him and his wife What did they say? What were
They were
telling you?
intimidating me. They knew my dad was homeless. They were threatening to do things to my dad while he was begging on the street. They were driving past me, intimidating me. It was just, they were just terrorising me. It was just easier to...
And then they marched you into the police station. The police accepted that they... And then...
I got arrested for wasting police time, which is still on my records now.
And did that happen with other girls too?
Yeah, yeah. One of the girls that I went through it with, she actually went to jail for lying about a rape.
What, for like a false allegation, but it wasn't?
Yeah, it weren't, no. She got bullied as
How
well.
did they even get the evidence to...
Because when you go and drop it and say no... So if a case has gone so far, like into court, like especially if it goes to court, and then all of a sudden you just go, no, I don't want to, I've dropped it, I was lying. You've lied to the court, you've done all these other crimes. So they're going to...
And they just accepted that?
Yeah.
Then there was the third group that you said that there was...
Yeah, which was my main perpetrators. They're the ones... Like, he'll go on like he really cared about me. So there was times where if he was in a house, I wouldn't get touched. Like, leave her alone. Like, he was my protector. He was like... I suffered with Stockholm syndrome, which I didn't know about. But I've only just come to terms with him.
Right.
Because I thought he cared about me. I didn't think it was what it was. So yeah, I struggle with him. But then sometimes he'll just drop me off to the house. And then that's when the abuse would happen. But it's like he knew, yeah, I know he knew.
And what kind of houses are we talking about here?
Oh, I've been to his wife's house, we've been to hotels, we've been to his dad's house. They have garages, serious, taxi bases.
And like the group, what is their, like, what's the makeup of the group? Are they all from this, is Pakistan, is it all
Pakistani?
Like, and families and relatives and stuff?
Yeah.
And like, do you remember at the time thinking about like, what are these guys that have got families and all the rest of it?
Yeah, I always used to question the wrong. Never used to make sense to me. Never. Like, obviously, I always knew what I went through weren't right, but it took for the Three Girls documentary to come out for me to watch that and think, oh my gosh, that's actually what I went through.
Right, so it was when the BBC, the drama that's about like Maggie Oliver and whatnot, that then you recognised that had happened to you.
Yeah, that is exactly what I went through.
So where were you and like how old were you when that happened? When you saw the documentary and then realised what had gone on? I
was, in my 20s.
Tell me about when the police went after you.
Right, so me and this girl went to a house party. We went to one house party and that group dropped us to a different house. And we all had a drink. All the abuse happened, that happens. And I ended up leaving. My friend that was there, she was really drunk. I couldn't get her up or anything, so I ended up leaving. And then she went to the police and reported the rapes that happened. And then I woke up to about 11 police officers above me in one of my perpetrators' houses. And they took me away from the house. Took me away from the house, took me to the police station, and then arrested me for inciting sexual activity. So they basically said that I took the girl out of the care home with me so she could get raped.
How old were you? How old was she?
I was 16 and I believe she was 15 or turning 15. I just turned 16.
And so then, and what had she told them?
She done two different statements and both statements were different. So she told them two different stories. But what she told them didn't add up to my part. But yeah, so yeah, I ended up getting arrested and then I got moved out of county, which my perpetrators were still picking me up 3 hours away from there.
So you were in...
Wisbech. I ended up moving all the way to Wisbech,
Wait, in like
Cambridgeshire.
but that's nearly Norfolk and
Yeah.
like Lincolnshire. That's
Yeah.
like hundreds of miles away.
Yeah.
So they would go all the way there and still pick you up.
Yeah.
And what did the?
Oh, there's been a time that the police found me in High Wycombe and had to drive me all the way back to Wisbech.
So you got moved out, and then they prosecuted you.
Yeah, so I obviously got arrested, and then like little bits down the line, 4 of the men got arrested, and then 2 of theirs got dropped out, and then we ended up going to trial. I should have stood trial separately because I was a juvenile, but I ended up standing trial with my perpetrators. Well, not my perpetrators, sorry, with rapists as an adult. So
Were you a victim of theirs as well?
I went not of theirs.
Right.
I didn't know them. That was the first time I ever met them that night. So yeah, ended up having to stand trial with them. Throughout my whole trial, I weren't classed as a vulnerable child. They didn't ever say that I was at risk of sexual exploitation, even though they knew I was. There was nothing. There was no case on me really. But yeah, I ended up getting found guilty.
What? Just going back to the point where you see these 11 police officers. Do you remember? Like, did you say to them, like, why you focus on me when I've told you all the stuff that had happened? Or how?
I did. I obviously at first it was because I was missing. So they took me to the police station as a missing person. I got put in a canteen, and I was sitting there assuming that they were going to take me home because I was missing. And then they come back up and arrested me. But I've got a report from them somewhere that has my whole when I was in the cell, like speaking to my social worker, saying how sick it is that I'm even in here and everything. But even in my in my statement, in my interview, I named 2 of them. The 2 people that I named didn't get sent to jail. And I stopped the interview and took them to the house that it happened in, because they said that will go for me. I didn't once say no comment. I said everything that I remember that happened that night.
What are they accusing you of? Sorry for being not...
Basically taking girls out to get abused.
Which is the worst because
I'm being abused myself.
And then, I mean, it must have been awful to then have to sit through that again in the trial, right?
Trial was awful. That was awful. And then going to jail was even worse. I had girls in my cell reading my paperwork. I was classed as a nonce in there. I had my 18th birthday in there. I missed my auntie's funeral. All for being raped my whole teenage life. I didn't have one social worker stand up in court and say that I was being sexually exploited, but I got my care files 4 years ago, and that's all it says in there. So they knew, and not once stood up in court and wanted to help me. And they all knew what was happening. And now I'm sitting here, however many years down the line, having to have solicitors and trying to appeal my case. However many years down the line. Why should I have to do that? I shouldn't. Because now I've got to go through it all again. Just to prove my innocence when I was a young girl myself. It's just annoying.
It's not right.
I get put on the sex offenders register for 5 years. For being in the same care home as this girl, both being abused. I just don't get it. I had to fight for my children. I had to fight social services off my case. For my own children,
Because it's just staged.
And then yet all of these abusers are out there with their kids and their family, nothing happening to them. And yet people like me have to fight for their kids because I'm classed as a perpetrator, when yet the perpetrators out there are driving taxis with all young kids in their car. It's disgusting.
And all the only thing that you've done was take the girl to the party.
Yeah.
Which someone had coerced you to go to anyway? Or?
Yeah, and the worst thing is, the girl that come with me kept nagging me to come with me, and I kept saying to her, no, please, please, please. All right, come.
Do you want to go through some of those things, like times that because obviously you said that they blackmailed you. Did they make, obviously there's sort of subtle threats, and then there's that like open ones that they'd make.
Yeah, there's been times where they've drove past me. Jade, get in. No, I'm not today. I'm not getting in. They'll get out and smack you up, and you're getting in the car.
So it was just violent.
Yeah, all the time. There's been times where photos, obviously, have been sent to me of my dad begging on the street, them intimidating things. But it's the violence. I've been slapped so many times for refusing to get in the car. So it's just easy just to get in the car the next time they come.
Mm. And you were okay to say the thing about the police? The police?
When I was 15, I got taken to the woods with this guy. Whatever happened. And then a week later, I was walking down Wycombe High Street and see him dressed in a PCSO uniform.
Did he see you as well?
Yeah, we both clocked eyes, and then I never see him again. So I don't know if he got transferred out to a different area, or if he actually shot himself and just quit his job.
But it's like that. Obviously, that was like powerful, or people in positions of power were involved in this stuff. Yeah,
I believe that there's more people higher up that are involved. I definitely believe that there's a lot behind the closed doors.
Mm. Do you want to talk about that it's still going on today as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know people that are living in Wycombe, and they are being outside McDonald's young girls getting bought chips from McDonald's from men that are my age, 32, and these girls are 14, 13.
And why do you think that, with all the stuff, with all the stuff in your file, with all the stuff from the other girls, that they've not done anything about this?
I wish I had an answer. I don't know. I don't know if it's a race thing that they're scared to be called racist.
Did anyone ever mention that racism thing to you, or when you were making complaints? I've seen in the stuff you were showing me that you're mentioning.
Well, no, but that's what that's what the perpetrators would say. Right. If you used to threaten to go to the police about them, it'll be, well, I'll just say it's a race thing. You don't you're discriminating against me, and you don't like me because I'm a Pakistani man. Or it'll be, well, I'll tell them you told me you were 16, and you said I can do it. Joe,
So they were planting that in you, that if you made a complaint, they would say that it was racist.
Yeah, it's racist. That you lied about your age. That you would, that you accepted all the drinking, you wanted it.
What did you think about it then, and what do you think about it now?
Then, obviously, I was scared. It made me not want to say anything. Now, it's definitely not a race thing, it's a factual thing. And it's not a race thing, I'd say it's a cultural thing. I wouldn't say it's a race thing, I'd say it's more a cultural thing.
Explain that a bit.
Well, a lot of people are saying, obviously, it's a Muslim thing. I wouldn't say it's a Muslim thing at all, because there's a lot of Muslims, good Muslims out there, do you know what I mean? I'd say it's a cultural thing, it's beliefs. What you believe is right in your country, you're coming over here and believing that it's okay to do it here. And yeah, that is what I That's what I personally believe. Like when in your country you think it's okay to have sex with a 9-year-old because they started their period, then why is it not okay to come over here and sleep with a 9-year-old? If you believe that, once a girl started their period that they're allowed to get married, why is that belief not going to be the same here?
Do you think that they targeted you because of your race?
That is a good question, because that is a thing when racism does come up. Well, if we're being racist to them, why are they not being racist to us? Because they're always targeting
Like,
young.
Were the other girls all white that you knew?
Yeah, all the girls that I went for it with, all mixed race, to be fair. Yeah.
And did they ever mention any of the perpetrators, or did they talk about that?
We'll get called easy. We'll get called white bitches. They'll ring me up. Are you coming out, you white bitch? So the white was always dragged up. Even in their language, they'll...
What was there, like a word for
that
they would use? Do you remember what it was?
I think it's gory.
Can you explain Wycombe a bit as a place for people that might not know, like, the town?
Wycombe is actually a lovely place. It can be a lovely place. It's just the people in it, unfortunately. Wycombe is odd. I personally call it a mini Pakistan. It's full of Pakistani men. They've got untold takeaway shops and untold taxi bases at every corner you walk round. There's untold food shops, untold taxi bases. So the percentage of perpetrators are really high in Wycombe. In such a small town, I've been abused by way over 100, probably closer to the 200 mark. I've walked down the road and one of them's walked out of a shop, heard my voice and walked out of a shop going, "Is that my Jade I could hear?" Like claiming my Jade still, years down the line. Like, I get messages. If I'm seen in Wycombe, get messages back in Wycombe. Hello, attention seeker. So yeah, they're still there.
And how do you feel about the fact that you've had to leave, but they just get to continue?
It's horrible, because it's the case for everything. For this situation, for domestic, us women always have to get moved out to start again while they get to live their life. And it aggs me. I've just found out my main perpetrator's just bought four other houses. So he's got 4 other rape houses. Do you know what I mean? He's got his wife's house, he's got his dad's house, and now he's got 3 other houses next door to it. It's a joke. It's a joke, and I'm here in the flat and my kids ain't even got their own room.
And in terms of what's happened since you've come out of prison and then trying to get justice for yourself, talk me through that process, that battle?
It's been a battle. Obviously I've got children, so they've been my main priority. But I'm now working with a solicitor to try and clear my name. But Thames Valley Police are making it very long with getting all my documents. So it's just longing out my whole procedure, really, because it's a burden on them for how much I'm asking for.
And so they're blocking you from the first step, which is clearing your name, let alone get to the next one where people start being held accountable.
Well, yeah, all I'm trying to do is get all my statements and all my documentation to appeal my case, and yet I'm putting a burden on the police. They don't even want to give me my documentation. So, where am I ever going to get with this? Why are you not giving it to me? Because you know you've done wrong. And
you showed me some of the statements that you've got. It's like you can see now clearly what the social services and everybody knew. Do you want to tell me a bit about that?
I've had in my care files, I didn't know that they were aware of so much that they are actually aware of. So in my care files, it's stated that I had one of my perpetrators parked outside my care home, and my carer went outside and asked him to leave because he shouldn't be outside, which he didn't leave. So the police come and asked him to leave, which he left but parked down on the bottom of the road. So why did you not arrest him for being outside a care home? They contradict themselves. They'll say that Jade is classed as high risk of sexual exploitation. She is always walking around with large amounts of money. We believe that she's offering sexual favours for that. So am I at high risk of being sexually exploited, or am I selling myself?
When you see those documents, like, what do you think of it like now, these years on?
Oh, it angers me. It's all in your face. All in your face. You knew every little bit about it. Every bit about it. And you did not once try and pull me away from it. I've stated in them care files that I did not want to go back to High Wycombe. I do not want to go back to Buckinghamshire. Please, can I stay here? Guess what? They moved me back to Buckinghamshire. Knowing that I'm at high risk in Buckinghamshire. Why would you do that? When I was in court, standing trial, not one social worker stood up and said that I was high risk of being sexually exploited.
And you've still, like, because again, you've shown me the messages where they were just brazenly asking you to come out.
Yeah, there's a house party. There's a house party on this road. Bring friends. Let's get drunk. And you've seen the profile pictures. They're old Asian men messaging me in 2009 when I was, what age, 15?
Because and it's just still there.
Yeah.
It's still there. It's like just evidence that they just have left because why do you think they just didn't think they face any, well, they haven't faced any.
Well, they never do. They never do. Because I don't know how they get away with it. It's like they're untouchable. And because they know, I don't know what power they have, but it's like they know that they're untouchable because look how brazen they are. Even that brazen that they sit outside your care home and wait for you, and nothing gets done. They get shooed away, and guess what? They'll be parked outside that care home again tomorrow because all they done was got shooed away.
And since you've started speaking out, what has been the impact? Like, what has happened in Wycombe? What has happened with, like, has anything shifted or moved?
Well, I've had loads of girls obviously shouting out to me saying thank you for speaking up for them. And I've had the Thames Valley Police turn up at my door asking for my help for investigation between 2008 and 2011. So what investigation they're doing, I don't know. But they didn't help me when I needed them. 18 years ago I asked for help and they come knocking on my door 18 years down the line asking for mine.
And how many other girls has the scale surprised you in terms of the number of people that have come to you to?
Not really, because I went through it with them, really, most of them. So I knew, or if I did go through it with them, I knew of them. But a good, more than a handful of people have come forward.
If we're talking about, so you said there was a couple of hundred perpetrators that you know of. What's the scale of the number of victims that we're talking about?
Well, I know of at least 10.
But do you think there could be a similar number of victims? Like, it could be in the hundreds as well, or are they just targeting a smaller number and it's just lots of people involved in the abuse?
I wish I could tell you. Because some people have shouted out to me and I was shocked that they went through it because I knew them. But didn't know they were going through it. So, so I don't actually, the scale of, but even that, like the 10 people that I do know to the 200 perpetrators, like that is just a disgusting ratio.
But also, I mean, that number of perpetrators that's a scandal that's on the scale or worse than any of these other places that we've seen, the Rochdale, Rotherham, Bradford, wherever. Right?
There's like literally, that's what I'm saying. Like High Wycombe, I would say is just I've got untold names for that place because the amount of perpetrators that I know in that area. My care home is like a little Tracy Beaker home. There's just so girls, boys. It was mixed. Some carers, day and night. Different staff every day. So like they'll all rotate.
And did the groups know where the care homes were?
Yeah, that was one of the care homes that they were parked outside.
Right.
That they got shooed away from. That's been closed down now.
Has it?
Yeah. But they, I've heard that they're thinking of opening a children's home in Wycombe, which I'm really concerned about, because you're not dealing with the high rapes that are going on in that town. There's been a time when I was reported missing because I was home past my curfew, and then I ended up going home, and with them they were parked outside waiting for me. They told me to go in and get my passport. So I went in and got my passport, and my carers actually handed my passport to me, and I ended up getting taken to Calais on a ferry. To some nightclub next to a hotel. And obviously had to do whatever I had to do to make sure I got home, and my passport didn't get burnt.
They threatened to look.
Yeah, and when you're in a different country, you're going to do anything just to make sure you get home.
And the care home just gave you the passport? Do you know if that happened with anyone else?
I don't know.
Because that is crazy to think. Like, how old were you when that happened?
16.
It's madness. And then do you want to tell us about when you'd sneak out to call the police sometimes?
Yeah, there'll be times where we'll be at a house party, and if there's, like, you feel when it gets horrible, and sometimes you can actually escape just to go and have a fag, which were the lucky escapes, because you used to be able to ring the police and be like, I've been reported missing, can you come pick me up? And you tell them the address that you're at, and they'll come pick you up. But that's it. They'll come pick you up and take you back home, and not do anything with a house full of older men that are there. Don't even question it.
And do you want to tell us about a couple of the times that you did go to the police and report stuff?
Yeah, 2008 I went to the police. I gave them my clothes. They ended up giving me a grey tracksuit. I'd done swabs in my mouth. I had to go to a different place in a room with all cameras everywhere and do a proper interview. Done that. They rang me and told me his name and age, and said no further action. There was another time that I was reported missing, got taken back to my care home, and on the way I told them, made an allegation about a drunken man, and they never further actioned it on the way home. Didn't even interview me or anything about it. Another time was when I got bullied to drop it, and then I got arrested for wasting police time. I just gave up telling them. I was wasting my time, keep telling them.
When you did report, did you feel like they were taking it seriously or they didn't? What was the reason that they...
Well, when they take all the swabs and all of that and do it all that proper way, it does feel proper and it does feel like they believe you. But yeah, then when you get kicked in the teeth, say no further action. But when you're 14 and they're 51, how can that be no further action? It just never made sense. Yeah, so the more you go to them and the more you get let down, the less chance you are going to go to them.
Yeah, of course.
Because it hurts. It hurt. I don't know what hurts more, the abuse or you admitting, because it's hard enough to admit the abuse. You admitting the abuse to a professional, hoping that you're going to get help for it, and then not being believed. I don't know what hurts the most.
Is it like being traumatised twice? Yeah.
Yeah, because once again, you've got to sit there and live with it. Well, you don't have to live with anything.
Right. Well, look, thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. It's hard.
Yeah.
And it was even worse knowing that I ain't the only one. So there's hundreds and thousands of girls that feel like this every day. I'm 32. It happened when I was 14. And I still wake up feeling like this every day. I still have bad dreams. And yet, the police still don't want to do nothing. I'm still sitting here having to go through court to clear my name. I shouldn't have to. Really shouldn't have to. That should just be wiped for me because I was a victim myself. But I'm hoping one day something will get done and justice will happen for all of these girls, because it's disgusting. It's disgusting. As I said, look, 18 years down the line, I'm still in bits. 18 years down the line, they've probably got more kids and living a happy life, do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's shit.
But you're doing a lot, because all the girls out there that like, well, they must tell you that you're giving a voice to.
Yeah, someone has to. Someone has to. It's the hardest thing. The hardest thing is having to speak up about it, which is why no one really does it. So if I could speak up for all the girls in the world, I will. If I could spread awareness to all the young girls before it happens, I will. I'll do anything in my power to stop this from happening. Because it's horrible, the pain that we've got to go through every day. Yeah. Not nice.